Even as Pakistan continues that farcical attempt to project itself as a peacemaker, its actions on the ground telling a very different reality. People living in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, PoK, are at the receiving end of a severe crackdown by Asim Munir's forces simply for voicing their dissent. The situation in PoK remains extremely volatile as a curfew has been imposed. Internet blackout is in place. The visuals depicting the story in itself in a brutal crackdown on the locals. The police and the Pakistan army personnel opened fire and tear gas at them. As per Reuters, over 70 people were injured, whereas at least 11 people were killed in the clashes. Take a look. Authorities have also banned public gatherings in several parts, including Muzaffarabad. Officially, Pakistan claims 4 law enforcement personnel and 3 members of the Joint Awami Action Committee, or JAAC, were killed. But this claim could not be independently verified, as internet services have been suspended in the area. At the center of the latest row is the JAAC, a civil society organization formed in 2023. Since its inception, in fact, it has been agitating over issues like electricity tariffs, inflation, political rights. It called for a protest on the 9th of June to demand abolition of 12 seats occupied by Pakistanis in the so-called Legislative Assembly. Thereafter, JAAC was banned by Pakistan. While local authorities claim that this organization is engaged in what it calls terrorism and is acting against peace and security, protesters see this as a move to silence the voice of the people. And while the Pakistani authorities accused JAAC of committing violent activities in Rawalkot over the weekend, the civil society group stressed that the armed forces had attacked a peaceful vigil. Meanwhile, security has been ramped up there, with the Shehbaz Sharif-led government rushing paramilitary forces to the region. Amid all of this, the locals remain firm in agitating for their rights. Listen to this.
To public sentiment, they will not back down from their struggle for their rights and will continue to raise their voices through all democratic and constitutional means available to them.
And after the local authorities issued a warning to the tourists against visiting PoK until the 20th of June, foreign embassies have stepped up a vigil. For instance, the US and Canada advised citizens to avoid areas with large gatherings in PoK. Similarly, Australia's envoy to Pakistan asked travelers to avoid visiting PoK due to the present turmoil. The PoK crackdown has become a key issue in the UK as well. A group of MPs, in fact, wrote to Britain's foreign minister over the dire situation in PoK and urged him to address the communication blackout and arrests. While independent MP Iqbal Mohammed called for lifting the restrictions and resolving the situation through peaceful dialogue, Islamabad took offense clearly to this and emphasized on non-interference. In fact, Imran Khan's party, PTI, alleged vote rigging in elections held to the so-called Assembly of Gilgit-Baltistan. India's Ministry of External Affairs, meanwhile, lodged a strong protest with Pakistan over these polls and flagged grave human rights violations, political repression, economic exploitation in the illegally occupied territories. And as Pakistan continues that brutal crackdown on civilians, the brutality of Asim Munir's forces has been exposed yet again. A bear on the loose has brought an entire Japanese city to a standstill in a way. For the first time ever, The city has suspended classes in all 94 of its primary and middle schools after the bear was spotted roaming through the residential streets and shopping districts. And with the animal still at large, authorities have launched a massive search operation and urged the residents to stay alert.
A rare bear sighting has triggered unprecedented disruption in Japan's Utsunomiya city. Home to around 500,000 people, the city has shut all 94 municipality-operated primary and middle schools after reports of a bear moving through residential neighborhoods.
I'm so surprised to see a bear come this far into our city. It's never happened before.
The first sighting was reported on Saturday evening near a local park. Hours later, the surveillance cameras captured dramatic footage of the animal sprinting through a shopping street. Despite repeated search efforts, the animal has remained elusive. Police teams and local hunters have intensified their search efforts to locate the animal before it enters another populated area. With fears growing, city authorities have asked residents to keep doors and windows locked, avoid approaching the bear and take shelter immediately if it is spotted. The incident comes amid a sharp rise in bear encounters across Japan. Japan reported close to 50,000 bear sightings this year. While Asiatic black bears are native to Japan, they are rarely seen this close to Tokyo. This makes Utsunomiya sighting particularly unusual. For now, residents remain on an edge as the search for the roaming bear continues. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
4 years ago, Telangana-based Anshul Kuncha went to the United States with a lot of hope, big dreams. He went there to pursue his MBA. Subsequently, he even landed a job as a data analyst. However, his life was tragically cut short after being shot dead at point-blank range in America's Philadelphia, reportedly. The 28-year-old Indian worked as a part-time pizza delivery executive during weekends to supplement his income. Past midnight on June 5, he was lured to a vacant apartment, allegedly, in North Philadelphia for making a pizza delivery. Subsequently, he was found dead with a gunshot injury at the back of his head, reportedly. And while searching the apartment, the police found 3 untouched pizza boxes, which indicated perhaps that Anshul completed the delivery before being murdered. As per the Philadelphia police, 2 people in dark attire wearing a backpack were seen following him. As of now, the police are offering a reward of $20,000 for information that leads to an arrest and conviction in this case. Investigators reportedly also probing whether the individual who placed the pizza order is linked to the murder. Now, just imagine what Anshul's family back home is going through. The family currently residing on the periphery of Hyderabad. It's worth noting that Anshul completed his engineering from Hyderabad and worked for multiple firms before moving overseas. His family members have appealed for expediting the return of his remains to India. And speaking to the media, his sister said Anshul had been a victim of robbery in the US before this, when his chain, phone and cash were stolen, allegedly. She alleged that the pizza delivery was a trap intended to kill him. And in an emotional appeal, she also urged families not to send their children to America. Listen to this.
This is a message to all the parents that want to send their kids to the US. Ma anna chala loving and chala a joyful person. He had no use to go to the US, but Pampitcham meu, he didn't want to go to the US also. Kani Elli, look what he ended up in. Do not send your kids to the US. This is a message.
The Indian consulate in New York expressed its condolences over the murder. It said, I'm quoting, "The consulate is in touch with Anshul's family and is extending all possible assistance." Anshul's murder has also brought into focus growing concerns about the safety of Indians who go overseas for higher studies. On its part, the government of India has stressed that it accords high priority to safety and security of the Indian students abroad. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.